Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
On today's episode, we're discussing All's Fair in Love and Mahjong, which originally aired on Saturday, May 9th, 2026, and is currently available to stream on Hallmark Plus. Hey, make sure you are following us over on Instagram. We are Girls Gone Hallmark. That's where we drop our weekly schedule. The schedule for the week went up Sunday night, so you can see what we're doing. Another 5 days of episodes around here. You can always see what's coming up on the podcast over there on Instagram. You can also play along with our weekly first impressions post, which drop as the movies drop.
I just grimaced at like 5 days a week post.
Big week.
I know. I go, but then I forget like, oh, it's mailbag. And not that those are easy to record, but it doesn't require me watching something in addition.
But there are 4 watched things this week, plus Patreon, plus mailbag. The way home already went out. That's why you're making that.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I'm making like a what face? I only have 3 things. Okay, good. Then we're good. Yeah, I'm kind of happy for those who are listening to our PBS content. I am glad that it has this week will end.
Yes.
Hope Valley ends this week in terms of podcasting. So I'm glad that we're going to get just like a
little bit of breathing room.
Yes. And I got to tell you, I did see a commercial for that Mom's the Bride and thought for a second. And then I was like, nope, Wendy.
No, I have been meaning to just turn it on for myself because I like Erin Cahill a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. And because also, do you know what starts next week?
The City.
Yeah.
The City is a Bravo reality TV show that we are covering on our other podcast,
Last to the Party.
Hopefully that won't be like too difficult to recap, but and we'll see how long. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, you're thinking we're not going to make it all the way through the season?
No, I think we'll make it all the way through the season because I have a lot of opinions about it, but kind of feel that might only be like a 1-seasoner.
Oh, that show.
And then we'll reevaluate.
We'll see what's next.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But let's talk Mahjong, baby.
Let's hear a synopsis.
A school nurse finds unexpected hope through teaching Mahjong, the centuries-old Chinese game which helps her build community and open her heart again.
Jessica Harmon directed this movie. This marks her 24th directing credit, and she recently directed I'll Be Seeing You, starring Tyler Hynes.
Nina Weinman and Betsy Morris share writing credit. Nina Weinman is a longtime Hallmark writer with faves like We Met in December, Haunted Wedding, and Pumpkin Pie Wars. Betsy Morris is also one of our favorites. She recently wrote Two for Tea, as well as Villa Amore and Guiding Emily.
Fiona Gubelmann stars as Ronnie Rice. We last saw her in A Royal Montana Christmas.
Paul Campbell stars as Ben. Paul was last in Christmas at the Catnip Cafe.
Friend of the show, Crystal Lowe, appears as Shelley.
Melissa Peterman appears as Melissa. Melissa is currently co-starring opposite Reba in Happy's Place on NBC.
Tamera Mowry-Housley appears as Carly. Tamera will star in the upcoming Haunted Harmony Mysteries Key to the Castle later this month.
For a complete cast list, please visit our website at girlsgonehallmark.com, which is also linked in our show notes.
Hey, Wendy, what was your first impression of All's Fair in Love and Mahjong?
Was this Hallmark's version of Sex and the City? Because Melissa Peterman was 2 cosmos away from becoming Samantha. And I didn't hate it.
Let's break it down. Who's the Carrie?
Carrie is Ronnie.
Yeah.
And
I think Carly is
the redhead. I can't remember her name. Miranda.
Carly is Miranda.
Yeah.
And Shelley is Charlotte.
Yeah.
Very cute.
I think that fits. What's your first impression?
My first impression is, couldn't resist. Booked a Mahjong lesson.
I love it, you guys. She invited me to, and I can't go, and I'm disappointed.
Because all right, we'll go again. And our friend, Sharon Garofalo, she has like a Mahjong group. She had posted.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she posted, and she was like, "Are there any local OC ladies looking for a Mahjong group?" And I was like, "Wait, me?" But like, I don't actually know how to play. And she's like, "Oh, we're beginners." And she was the one who told me where to take the lesson.
Wow.
So she was like, after you take a lesson, reach out, because she said sometimes it's hard to get to 4 every time they need it. So, yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to try and start not a regular game, not like a we meet every month on this day, but like playing with some regularity with people.
I love it.
Let's talk what you liked about All's Fair in Love and Mahjong?
I liked it a lot. I liked the movie a lot.
I did too.
I want to talk. Can I talk about all my likes, and then I'm going to talk about like the Hallmark component of it being like the controversy component.
Yes.
Okay. The number one thing I liked about it is I thought the female friendship dynamic felt lived in. I loved it. I liken it to Sex and the City because I have always been drawn to like your core group of girlfriends and very easy to talk to. And you talk about things like you wouldn't talk to your husband about or your next door neighbor about or whatever. This was probably my favorite part of the movie. The scenes with Ronnie and her girlfriends worked in a way that doesn't always work on Hallmark.
Yes.
And I thought, you know, they were talking about things like divorce and dating and money troubles and parenting older kids going away to college. Like, you know, it all was like very much my season of life.
Yeah.
And that's what I was drawn to. I want more of that from Hallmark because I think midlife female friendships is an interesting topic. Interesting in the way of we should see more of it in our entertainment. And if I could just go one step further, Melissa Peterman, I don't know if she was ad-libbing or if just her comedic timing is beyond like operating in a different level. Like I wanted to see some outtakes.
Yes.
Because I just think she's so damn funny. And I truly don't know if the lines that she recited were lines that were written for her or if she was just playing.
Riffing.
Yeah, I just love it. She's so good. She's so good. Please put this woman in a lead role on a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a series. Please, I'm begging you. Wouldn't a comedic series with Melissa Peterman as the star just absolutely kill on Hallmark?
Yes.
Don't you think so?
Yes.
Please, somebody listening to us, please.
Yeah, she's very, very good.
I mean, she's making that Happy's Place money on NBC right now, but please, I'm begging.
Yeah. Yes. Look, I the friend group is my favorite thing too, and I found it both relatable and aspirational, their friend group. And of course, they are in my phase of life. Like it felt like a shout out to all the college moms and the moms of young adults when up top we start with Melissa being like, if you want to take off your location services, you can pay the bill. And I'm like, wow, do you live in my house?
Right. I had to rewind it. I was like, wait a minute.
You know, like Nina and Betsy know what they're talking about with this dialogue. And then they say, one of my favorite lines is, these kids want to be so independent until it's time for the hard labor.
Yep.
And I just think that's so relatable to every mom parenting these young adults who that's what they want. Yeah. They want that independence, but they don't want to actually do it themselves.
Did I not just complain about like
they want, it's so funny because they don't want you to have any say over their actions, but they do want you to step in
and do it all.
And yes, and facilitate it. So this friend group was great. They showed up for each other in many different ways. It's the kind of friend group I would want in my life when they're just downstairs playing Mahjong and her daughter's popping in and out. And she's like, hi. I mean, you and I both know that life.
Yep.
So
what do you think about the karaoke scene?
Oh, I have some thoughts about the karaoke scene.
Oh, not so good thoughts?
No, not bad thoughts. Which element of the karaoke scene?
I have a feeling you had like secondhand embarrassment, like watching people sing.
No.
Okay.
That was sweet. I was glad that because we have this friend group and we have this romance and we have this story about like midlife changes. There's a lot happening in an 84-minute movie. Mm-hmm. And so the one thing I think is hardest is to give each of those friends their moment.
Sure.
And I have a wish about that. But I did like that Tamera's character, Carly, got that moment on stage to express herself that way. And I thought it was so sweet. My first impression was almost, I won't sing for you, but I am here to support you in this next moment with your daughter.
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, no, we're going out for karaoke and you're going to get up and sing Unwritten. This one's for you, Wendy. Yeah, I want to see it.
Look, they got the rights to that song. I thought it was great.
That song is having a real moment on TikTok. It has had a moment on TikTok for the last couple years, I would say. But like, I think just recently I saw TikTok where it was football related and they were hyping up with that song
That's
or
funny.
something like that. And I just thought, oh, that's so cute. It worked so well here, I thought.
I thought it was sweet. I thought it was like, this is about you and your next phase of life. I thought it was very sweet. The moment while we're talking about that, I can't decide how I feel about Ben showing up.
What? I loved it.
I'm torn because she's like, I'm having a girls' night. We're going to Tequila Mesa for karaoke. And he was like, oh, maybe I'm going to Tequila Mesa with my friend. And I thought, people are going to be like, just have fun. Part of me was like, she said it was a girls' night. Let her have her girls' night. On the other hand, she clearly wanted him to be there. Mm-hmm. And he brings his buddy, so Shelley gets her moment.
Yeah.
And so I liked it in that regard. Once I see Shelley making that connection, I thought, okay, this is all good. And the friends are happy to see him there. And it doesn't feel like he's crashing or taking away from her moment with her girlfriends.
You're looking at this from a
Old married woman
perspective. If we were single and ready to mingle, I think we would be very excited that some handsome dudes are coming out. Like, oh, happened upon you at Tequila Mesa after a few little margaritas and some karaoke.
Probably. But I also still, even if I were single and ready to mingle, would want respect for my time with my girlfriends.
Girl.
You don't think?
No.
You want to be like,
No,
I need my own time.
Fun together.
Okay, but I also want to know that like alone time with my girls, I got my girls, is going to be in the mix.
I like it. Let's drink some tequila and have some fun, share some laughs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I liked it. I like that scene and I really enjoyed the karaoke. Let's talk about Fiona and Paul. Fiona makes Ronnie incredibly easy to root for me. Mm-hmm. Fiona Gubelmann is not one of those Hallmark actors where I'm like, oh, it's a Fiona Gubelmann movie, right? But the last movie she was in, that Montana movie with Warren Christie, and they had that fire kiss.
Yep.
Like ever since then, I'm like, oh, I kind of enjoy her. Mm-hmm. I think the character of Ronnie could have come across as very controlling and frantic because I thought she was kind of white-knuckling her life.
Interesting.
I don't think she does come across like that. Maybe that's just like my trauma that I'm putting on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like things are kind of spinning out of control and like, no, she was like very like warm and I could understand why she would spiral, and there were moments she had like not great moments. The scene with her and Paul after she learns that she doesn't, her and Paul, this Ronnie and Ben, they're at her house and she doesn't get the loan.
Yeah.
And he kind of like is like, well, what can I do to help? And she gets mad at him. Mm-hmm. Like, and I thought that was very realistic as somebody who's like, look,
you can't.
It's just kind of misdirected. She's just mad at the situation.
But that's a
she's
human
in.
reaction.
Totally. And that's what I loved about it. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't some whacked misunderstanding that ended up like that's what their whole, I'm quoting, like breakup or fight is about. Yeah. It's, she has a moment.
She got overwhelmed. She got upset.
And I love that Ben, the character, is just like, okay, I'm going to give you some space.
Yeah. And then when he sees her again, he's not like, well, I'm going to punish you for that reaction.
Right. Which makes him so much more likable.
I really loved Paul Campbell as Ben in this movie.
Me too. Same.
I think he plays the character as exactly the kind of person you would want to meet in midlife.
Yes, right?
He's comfortable. He's understanding. He pays attention. He listens. He's thoughtful. Of course, I knew that they were going to offer the measurement chart in some way.
Oh my God, I knew it. I was like, oh, he's a contractor. He's going to cut it out of the wall. But I had forgotten about it. And then when he presents it
it's framed and beautiful.
Oh, God. Loved it.
Of course it was predictable, but it was lovely. And he's just so settled in this role. Paul Campbell can play the funny guy. Like when he plays himself in the Santa class, it's exceptional.
Yeah.
But I really love this Paul Campbell, the Wedding Every Weekend Paul Campbell. You can see him falling for that person, Paul Campbell. In that movie, in Wedding Every Weekend, I remember there was a moment where he got his heart broken, and he kind of had that moment in this movie. I can envision his face kind of crumpling at one point. And I like this Paul Campbell a lot.
I agree. I enjoy this Paul Campbell too. I'm drawn to like funny characters. I've talked about this for weeks when we review Hope Valley. Like, I like Ben Ayers as the funny guy, right? I like Paul Campbell as the funny guy too. But so this was nice. Like, it was like believable. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I like a little bit of both, but I liked. I thought he had some funny in this too, but it wasn't like he wasn't cracking the joke every like second.
It's not overly serious at all. He is funny. I like a combo. I like some warmth.
Agree.
This movie makes me think we would be friends with Nina and Betsy because not only do they get what it's like parenting young adults, there's a therapy mentioned very casually. Fiona and Ben are talking about, lots of therapy. And then there's a through line about being the default parent and the default child. That is, I am both of those things. That is very relatable. And I kind of liked that we saw both sides of it. Fiona doesn't really have the opportunity to pass along like a need for help. But Ben does. Like, his brother, Fiona's divorced. She can't really be like, step in this role, ex-husband of mine.
Right.
But Ben does. And he does finally say to his brother, like, yo, I need you to take the reins on this. And you and I have talked about, it's not always easy to do. Sometimes it's more work.
Right.
And he was like, it wasn't actually more work. Sometimes it is more work.
Yeah.
Sometimes you end up doing some of the groundwork to pass that off. But that's a very realistic thing. And I think in every relationship, you've decided, well, your job is more important. And therefore, I'll take on this role.
Right.
My brother and I are like that.
Right.
I'm like, well, you work full time, so I'll plan Mother's Day. It's not that I don't have other stuff to do.
Right.
I felt very seen as a woman of a certain age.
Yeah. And shout out to Nina and Betsy
Absolutely.
for including those elements to the story. Agree. I want to talk about the Mahjong a little bit. What surprised me about this movie is it wasn't really about Mahjong.
No.
It was just like
that's a vehicle.
The vehicle, exactly. But I loved like the connection and the community and the women gathering together. It felt very current and refreshing for Hallmark, I thought. If you didn't know, the Mahjong boom is real.
Yes.
In suburban households.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Of midlife women. So
they pay homage to the cultural heritage at multiple times.
Well, that's what I want to talk about, the controversy leading up to this movie. Do you think it was fair?
I think it's not fair for me as a white person to weigh in on an Asian American's perception of the movie.
Agree.
But from my perception, what I think worked is they didn't try and brush over the fact, they didn't act like these white suburban ladies found this game. They talk about its Chinese cultural heritage, and they talk about that this is American Mahjong, which has some differences. I don't pretend to know what those are. And the final point is, as we've discussed before, this movie was based on a real person. We didn't just decide to make this some white suburban. This person exists.
Yeah.
And it's in my Did You See That's, but we'll talk about it now. Crystal Lowe is friends with the Ronnie Rice.
The real Ronnie Rice.
Yes, and has been for many years. And so that connection is there as well. And Crystal Lowe talked in an interview, which thank you to Girls Gone Hallmark team member Mackie for sending us the link to that interview, about how Crystal grew up in homes where Mahjong was played. She talked about falling asleep under the kitchen table. And that's one of the ways in which she connected with Ronnie. And so I don't think it's fair to say this is like straight up cultural appropriation. I loved the cast. Could the casting perhaps have been a little bit different? Sure. What do you think?
I think you hit most of it on the head. I do think Hallmark mishandled the optics here a little bit. You know, leading up to the movie when the cast was announced, and then that's when like people on the internet were like upset about things. I don't think Hallmark should have backed away from it, which to me they did, because there was like zero promotion for this movie.
And even people involved with the movie were saying I'm not going to name them, but they were saying, you know, it was a shame Hallmark didn't promote it, so nobody's talking about it.
Right. And I don't think that they needed to. I think there was nothing to be ashamed about.
The movie was still going to come out.
Yeah, the movie was still going to come out, and I thought it was good. And I, you know, I'm trying to tread lightly because, like you said, I'm a white woman who probably shouldn't have shouldn't have much to say about it. But I also just think that I thought the movie was, I thought they paid, homage to the cultural part of it. I just have one more thought. I do think that Hallmark does continue to miss opportunities to build richer, more diverse casts.
Absolutely.
We have said that since 2020. And I find it incredibly frustrating as a podcaster and a Hallmark movie reviewer that they won't make those changes.
It's like, we had Mahogany, we got 5 movies and then it went away.
Right.
It's gone. I think you're right. We could have a richer experience across the board. Hallmark walks a line, and there's a lot of room for improvement there.
Yes. Yes.
You want to talk? Let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk about our wishes. All right, Wendy, what are your thoughts on your wishes for this movie?
My biggest wish is the smooch-o-meter barely moved, friends.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Ronnie and Ben together. And if I could just add side note, one of my favorite podcasts is called Watch What Crappens. It's a Bravo recap podcast, and it's hosted by Ben and Ronnie. And so every time I see Ben and Ronnie,
that's funny.
It's killing me. Anyway, I enjoyed Ronnie and Ben from this movie together. I thought they had warmth and ease, but I thought their chemistry was like, the kisses were not doing it for me personally. Mm-hmm. Not personally.
Justice for Melissa. Shelley and Carly really get their own moments, but Melissa doesn't. Well, I love her so much, so I really would have liked to see her have at least a little bit of a story to tell. I mean, she kind of does get her story woven through because she's everyone's real estate agent.
Give me a spinoff with Melissa as the real estate agent.
Yes.
I need it. I love her. Well, I want to talk about Ronnie for a second. Ronnie, how do you call him? How are you a teacher and you have one board? And it happens twice. Like, she goes to like a big group and she's like, I don't have enough boards. And then she goes to another thing and she's like, I don't have enough boards. I'm like, you need to communicate.
Yes, she should have come with more supplies just in case.
Just in case. Yes.
Yeah. And then they're like, she's like, what's a rate sheet? I'm like, what do you mean, what's a rate sheet? What more information? It's a rate sheet. Mm-hmm. Like, I understand being like, oh, I don't know what I should charge, like turn to the internet, but you know what a rate sheet is.
Yeah. I mean, you're an educated woman.
Yes.
You're a nurse. Yeah. My other last wish is Ronnie's ex-husband sucked.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
The kid is driving out of the driveway for college and he turns and says, we need to talk about the house.
My new wife and I need a new place to live. Oh my gosh. And then he comes to her and he's like, you got a month to figure out if you have financing. This is what pisses me off because he wants to sell the house so we can have the money from the house. And she's like, well, I'm going to buy you out. And he's like, you got a month. There's no guarantee that your house would sell in a month and that you would have the money if you went that route. Mm-hmm. You're wanting her to get all of these repairs made, then get the house listed, then get the house sold. You're not going to have that money in a month, bro.
Yeah.
She should have, okay, now she has 6 months to figure it out after her kid graduated.
Yeah.
The pivot that he expects her to make, he just kept talking about his new wife.
I know. I felt like, wouldn't this have been decided on in a divorce?
Yeah, there would be a time frame, like you guys could live there and then X amount of time after.
Yeah. But anyway, I just needed him to eat some humble pie. Like, he was a real dickhead. Sorry.
Yes, and I kind of am surprised they didn't drive her to college.
She didn't want them to.
Okay, bye.
Well, I mean, what if she's like going like, did they say where she was going? Is she going locally? I don't know where this movie took place at.
I don't either. I mean, she drove there and she drove home. So I don't think it's like around the corner, but it's drivable. Because her mom's like, what are you doing home?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Did you see that?
I only have 2.
Yep.
The real Ronnie Rice had a cameo in this. And the only reason I know why is because I don't know if we were on mic, but I was telling you how my stepmom and her friends had a lesson from a Mahjong teacher, right? And so I went onto the website, Ronnie Rice's website, and I took a screenshot and I sent it to my stepmom. I said, is this the lady who taught you? It wasn't. But then I saw who Ronnie Rice was. And then lo and behold, as I'm watching the movie, I see Ronnie Rice. She was part of the book club that didn't read. She was at that.
Got it.
At that party and that teaching that teaching night or whatever. Yeah, and they showed her several times. And she had a line. Something she's like, I don't know what I'm doing here, or something like that.
Cute.
Anyway, my other Did You See That is, I had forgotten, but the gift that Ben brings Ronnie, the Mahjong set, is the one that Hallmark is selling. I had to look it up. They got a lot of merch this year, a lot of merch tied to their movie. So I looked it up. It is $350. It's beautiful, though. The tiles are really pretty.
It's
like
beautiful.
The design on it is really pretty. $350. Is that normal?
I think Mahjong sets are expensive. I mean, there's no way that I don't know, like if you Google Mahjong set, My Fair Mahjong, $365. Although there's a Target game, $29.99. Pearlescent starter kit, $740.
Oh my gosh.
A bunch on Alibaba, $60. You know, $165 on Etsy. So I think there's a enormous range of what they cost. $400 from Bam Let's Mahjong.
Wow.
But then there's one at Kohl's, $41.25. So I think there's a huge range, but I guess that the nice ones do cost that much.
I wonder if there's like a little bit of a keeping up with the Joneses and the Mahjong circuit.
Oh, I think
if
absolutely.
You roll in with your $41.95 one from Kohl's and not your $700 one. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Hallmark one, it's like pre-order. It does not ship until December. So I'm wondering if they're like, well, let's hold off on production of these. Let's see if we can sell any first before we make them.
Yeah, I'm afraid that now my TikTok feed is going to be all Mahjong.
Needlepoint and Mahjong.
Needlepoint and Mahjong. So speaking of Mahjong, as mentioned, I don't know how to play the game. I've never played it before, but I was reading some of the comments on Facebook about this movie, and people said that the Mahjong itself, with one lesson, you're not actually able to play a game in most cases. Like you're learning some of the basics, but they were like, haha, nobody would ever be playing a game at their first lesson.
Oh.
Not that interesting to watch people not play, though. So I totally understand that. My only other Did You See That is there's a weird dub in the beginning, an ADR. Ronnie, Fiona Gubelmann, is talking to her principal, and she says something. I rewound it. The ADR is Mahjong. Maybe she's saying Mahjong. Maybe she says it weird. I can't tell exactly what she's saying, but it's very clearly like, oh, you want me to teach my Mahjong?
Oh.
You know, one of those.
Interesting.
Just a Did You See That? That's all. I did like the joke about the overbearing PTA moms, too, at the very beginning.
Oh, yeah. Just relatable.
Relatable.
Been there.
What did you rate this movie?
I have no shame. I liked it a lot. I gave it 4.25 stars.
I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie.
So did
It was
I.
a good time. I would absolutely watch it again if it was on. I got a new cozy blanket for Mother's Day, and I was laying under my blanket with the AC on watching the movie from my dopamine menu.
Love
Listen to
it.
our Patreon.
Love it.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. If you love this podcast, you know we love your 5-star ratings and reviews, and we'd love to see new ones pop up over on Apple Podcasts. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.